All right, and we are live. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm Pasha with Agency Operators Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, my friend Kadel Yerushalmi, out in Israel. He's the founder of Sparka AI and Climb Media. So he runs an agency, also has software dedicated to Amazon AI-powered videos. All you have to do is just copy and paste your URL, and boom, you have video on the spot. It's kind of amazing. How you doing, Kadel?
Doing great. Thank you for having me, Pasha. It's good to join.
Thanks.
Uh,
Thanks for taking the time to share with our audience. So let's get started. If you can just maybe share a little bit about your background. Usually getting to this position, operating an agency, having your own software that
mhm.
requires a certain type of skill set, certain type of character. So just curious how you got into the place that you're in today.
Yeah, so I live in Tel Aviv, Israel, as you said. Having a background in online marketing, in affiliate marketing. I ran an agency, Climb Media, that help startup and small companies to grow. We focus about growth and online marketing. And and these days I'm working on Sparka, which basically is AI-driven videos for e-commerce, together with my co-founder Ophir Baruch. Um, we basically how we got to that as an agency. One of the uh, we wanted to market our clients, and one of the methods, let's say the mediums, the most effective ones is video these days. If you want to showcase your product, communicate with your clients, and it's the most engaging way. So we made a lot of videos with third-party companies, and we faced a lot of, let's say, challenging, and it was a very, I wouldn't say like difficult, it was like challenging, and we faced a lot of days and days of working on it, thinking about the script, narration, and whatever belonged to it. And we got to the point that we wanted to automate the process to make it more easy, mostly for small companies that has um, small budget, and they want to create videos. Can be also complicated, and also like can cost much more than their budget. So we wanted to make things easier for them, and this way we got to build Sparka. Um, yeah, it's now we AI with AI. You can do like things much easier. We basically started just before all the LLM craze. So the product was like semi-automated. We still required from users to add some inputs. But nowadays you can do like to fully automate the process from A to Z. That's what amazing about it.
Very cool. So did client media and just working with clients and brands help to kind of give you the insight that you really needed in order to build the product, right? So that was for step one was the service provider thing, and
True.
then that kind of give you like a foundation, right?
Yeah, with Client Media, we basically learn what actually work for clients and what they need, how to build the videos, and online marketing in general. To see what works, what doesn't work. We had a lot of iterations till we got to the best way to market them, and yeah, this what lead us to for today, for Sparka basically.
And you have a affiliation with Max Sinclair. He was on the
Oh yeah,
e-content. I saw there's a link actually. Like if you want listings on the website, you can click and then it goes to his stuff. And he was
sure.
actually a last person to speak a couple days ago on the
Yeah,
show. So
he's a great guy, Max. I
yeah,
really appreciate him, and his and also his product is very useful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys work together, or you just like to recommend them?
Yeah, we made some partnership, like and yeah, it's he is very professional and expert in whatever belong to listing optimization, and help Amazon sellers to generate listing easily and efficiently. And in a way, our roads are uh, pretty similar in that sense. Like, we aim for the same target audience, so it made sense to do kind of a partnership together. Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, he handles the graphic side. You have handle the video side. Then we have tons of tools out there that do the copywriting. And so
true.
boom, right? You could build like a together you guys are like a AI powered agency in a way, right? You can build the entire content side.
Right. That's
So
exactly right.
I'm curious, what are the requirements for Sparka in terms of what's actually needed for the video product that it makes to be good, essentially? Is it a requirement to first have fully optimized and uploaded written and graphic content, or like bare bones a listing will do? Like what are some of the inputs that are going to be kind of important?
Well, it can work with the very basic listings. We just need a description about the product. Like, if you don't need to provide like a elaborated content. But, I mean, first and foremost, we basically just need the URL of the product to get information and to build around it. And now, it's true that if you have, let's say, a better media, you have good photo shoots that you already have, and you have more information. Yeah, it helps 100%. And also, in the end of the day, the seller knows the best what works for them. So our AI agent creates the videos, but you can tweak and make it even better. But let's say uploading new medias, modify here and there the narrator, and do your tweaks as one that knows the product the best. But yeah, you're right. It's like, if you have, you can start with a very basic listing, uh, but and also without a store, you can create a video. But it's really, if you have a better media, um, like photo shoots and even short videos about the product, it helps to make it better. We got to the point where video AI is pretty insane. Like, everyone saw what OpenAI and Google with Lumiere and Sora
Yep.
uh, doing these days. Still on the research phase, but it's already working. Like, it's not publicly, but we can see how amazing the results are. Um, and We have some tools that create tools that are public, that you can create videos, but it's still not there. It's still not in the level of those guys. So, in order to combine your product within a video, you need to tell a story, and it's still not like a production level video that you do in a studio. It's more like a storytelling. It's more like showcasing your product. And this industry is really amazing, and we're working on make sure to be on top of it. Like, if there is new update in this industry, to embrace it and put it as part of the process. um,
So
yeah,
currently the video, I will say, like, I tested it out and I agree with you that it's more of a type of infographic with motion. It has a lot about kind of highlighting the unique selling points and maybe creating a little bit of that visual appeal. But I agree that Sora and all these updates, it looks like they're headed towards something on a next level where these are like
yeah,
Hollywood level productions where, right,
exactly.
they're like without needing to have the entire stage and
Yeah,
actors and lighting and everything. You can
yeah,
pretty much create this type of setups and motion, all kinds of the computerized things that they spend millions of dollars to do. You could just have it right there.
insane,
So then
insane. Yeah.
it'll eventually come into a point where you can upload your product listing, and then it can have that
Hmm.
creative element to come up with a storyline that is more unique and entertaining and creative, and have that storytelling piece too, in addition to highlighting the unique selling points. And I think that that's the difference between the quality that you get hiring a studio to make a $10,000
Right.
video for you, compared to, like you said, it's a startup, early stage. They just need something to fill in that spot that's also outlining what the what the product is about. So that definitely fills that gap, I would say, and
Yeah.
quite inexpensively, right? I mean, how much do you guys charge?
We charge now. We have few tiers, starting from $25 a month to around like 1,000 a month for agencies and big vendors. But yeah, to your point, like the in the near future, you will be able to upload STL or any 3D model format of your product, and it can be combined with Hollywood standout videos, things that you would have cost you like tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to create with
Yeah,
few text queries. So yeah, 100%. So now we are trying uh, what we create basically is we do have manipulations for visual manipulations, I would say, and new creations mostly for images. Like we take your product image and we create a background around it which you can play with. We have some motions and animations, but it's still not generating video, like entire video like these guys.
yeah,
um, it's more about, again, more about storytelling and something that it's easy to create, mostly for small sellers, again, that just want to have we know that video has a lot of effect as for brand awareness, for conversion rate, for increase the visitor session length. It's better to have a video that showcase your product rather than don't have one.
yeah,
um, and yeah, of course, they'll get to the point where you can actually create actors and around your product. Yeah, we're not it's not gonna be it's not in the far future. We're very
yeah.
close to it. We can see it already, just about combining it with elements that you upload, such as your product. Yeah, this is
Yeah, it's great that Sparka is starting so early on, because you guys are laying a foundation for yourself, and you're ripe for when these technologies come out. You can absorb them
mhm.
and integrate them quite easily. And so your
This
service is going to continue to grow as basically as fast as these models come out.
100%. We basically we are building the stage for those technologies,
Yeah,
so we can embrace them as soon as they up. So we build the product. We have something on production that we basically just went live around 2.5 months ago. We had a lot of beta testing and a lot of testings even a year ago, but we went live, went out of beta recently. And now we have like two types of videos. Um, the first type is highlighting um, your video benefits and features. Second is the revenue reviews. But we are looking to increase those types as long as the technology involves. And yeah, this is the idea.
very cool. You guys have any agencies working with you? Any APIs, like
Mhm.
requests from software providers, all of that?
Yeah, API we still don't have, but we do have a agency that work with us that we made some kind of white labeling model. They are using our technology within their platform for their customers. Now we are focusing mostly on small customers, Um,
Right.
those that don't have the, the 5K, 10K plus to produce videos in studio, and agencies that work with a lot of small companies are great customers for us. Yeah, it's this is the idea. We are still we are working on our API to make it much easier. But yeah, now it's without.
How do you think that your technology can be utilized, perhaps for social media?
Basically, the output is both for the listing and also for social media. And when you create a video, you have the ability to pick the desired social media, and each social media has its own, ratios, and it's all. I would say, um, if you take Facebook, for instance, or TikTok, it's a completely different approach. It's so each one has a specific um, time frame for each video and different approach when we're working further to make it even more and more um, um, specific.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I mean, you don't have time. If you have a TikTok video that now start to explain you about a product, and it wouldn't work. Like,
right.
you need to take. It's like the first in each video. It's the first 3 seconds, but in each social media, it's even. Can be even more important in TikTok, for instance, or Instagram stories. You need to be very visual and to explain and to attract the user very quickly. Nowadays, it's mostly our product is better on Facebook, Instagram feed, and for listing, let's say, because it's more explanatory.
Right. So I was wondering, in the same way that you can upload the URL from your Amazon store. Did you guys ever consider, I mean, it would be kind of not so narrow anymore, focused on Amazon sellers, but the ability for people to maybe copy and paste their Instagram store, because it's essentially the same process where you would scrape their information, and instead of creating videos that are particular to Amazon, it would be particular to that person's social media profile. I mean, could that be done theoretically?
Mm, you mean to take the information from a social media and then create a video around it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it requires, I think, a different. It's a bit different because, first of all, if it's social media, it doesn't mean it's e-commerce, right? It can be for any kind of
right.
um, video, and this is a different type of videos. Theoretically, you're right, and I mean, here in the AI world, you can make those shifts pretty easier than in the past, but it's still I would say that um, it's a bit different. If it's e-commerce videos or a generic video about like your, I don't know, service. It's the script is different, the concept. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's but you're right that it's there are like um, we have the ability to grab the URL and to create a video from there, but you can also do it, I would say, yeah, in a wizard manually. Let's say you don't have a store yet and you want to build a video, you can upload few media items, a description, and we can build something around it from scratch. It would be, I guess, less good that linking the store that you already have, but you can start with something using it. So these
right.
are the two ways right now that you can do it. We now focus on Amazon specifically, but we're working also integration with Shopify, e-commerce, eBay, all those companies.
Great. Yeah, and they all have their own formats that typically work, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, makes sense.
True.
What do you think about? I mean, there's always this battle between AI and like the human touch, And so right now, a lot of the social algorithms and just the way that people I think are just generally wired, we like when there's a real person involved. At least visually, maybe like the voice thing. We can't eventually, or even currently, AI is so good that you can't even tell if it's really a
Yeah,
person or not. It's not doesn't have like that robot sound as much anymore. But um,
yeah.
people
Actually, it
using
really doesn't.
it doesn't. Yeah.
We got to the point where it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of impressive with the audio, but the visual sound part, people are
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just, everything is kind of like animated or,
Hmm.
yeah. Do you think it could really replace it or?
I tell you, I don't know if it's sadly or not. I'm not. I actually believe it will. Like, you have avatars, you have solutions these days that you can see like a person that's talking about whatever you want him to talk about. There are like you have
Oh
Synthesia.
yeah,
If you
yes, yeah, I've seen that.
they're great, but you can still feel it's not a real person.
You can
It's
tell.
still not. But you saw what Sora did. Like, it's not, you can't, you just can't tell. It's just I personally hope that it will be like regulation about it that require you to say it's an AI. But yeah, we are there. We're in the point that it's not something that you can distinguish. Actors, presenters, everything will be like exactly uh, as human beings. So we tried. We thought about adding an avatar, a talking head, someone that is speaking about the product. But we saw it's not something that for me as a consumer, when I see something that it's robotic, it's actually less engaging, and we prefer to focus on things that we know for sure that. You couldn't tell. I hope. I mean, most of our users like the narration feels natural, and things that can predict to have the human touch and not yeah,
Yeah,
like a
I've
robotic.
and I think you guys are focusing on the right things with Amazon. People are just focused on clearly understanding what the product is about, USPs in that video, and I think you guys do a good job at just you know pointing it towards that versus doing too much of this kind of theatrical, I guess, kind of stuff that they do in some other like high level to this ten to $100,000 productions.
Mm.
Um, so being in Tel Aviv, you know, how is the Amazon environment over there? So a lot of our viewers might be in the US, might not be, but is it a very different way that people shop, would you say, in Israel? Or is it Amazon kind of expanding into there pretty fast too?
Oh, you mean not as the sellers community, but the actual consumers, the
Yeah,
consume from Amazon?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not because the experience is less amazing as in the US. You have like in a day or two you get with Prime, you get a product. Then users are Israelis like Amazon, but it's not the same because of that. If you have better experience, it's gain much more customers. And Amazon was supposed to build a big uh, factory here in Israel, but it was pre-COVID. Once
Uh,
COVID started, it just killed it, and then yeah, it was very promising. Everyone was so excited about it, but yeah, it's pre-COVID. I know that they closed a lot of uh, factories around the world, and Israel was one of them.
so I'm wondering from where things are shipped. Then what's the closest warehouse or infrastructure that you guys are getting stuff from?
Um, I think US, even though it's not that close, but yeah,
Yeah,
US is the main
most people they
main
shop on
one.
Amazon.com and they just get stuff
Yeah,
sent.
yeah, mostly. Yeah,
And your service can be used in multiple languages too, right?
yeah. We've just added a new feature of multi-language, which you can just pick a different language and The narration, the text, everything around it will be in the desired, the selected language, and yeah, so you can reach different audiences this way.
Yeah,
Like,
you can sell on multiple marketplaces, and the thing with um, different marketplaces and different languages is like the localized content, right? So you can do like a translation, but it's not gonna sound right because just like direct translation from English doesn't always work. So the fact that
sure,
you're at the point of origin making those translations, then it does make semantic
it makes
sense in
sense.
that.
It makes a difference, yeah, because I have um, yeah, I have. It's not like we're creating everything in like English and then translating word to word to other language. You're right. It's different. It makes it feels native.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very cool. Man, with all this AI stuff, I mean, I'm here. It's obviously such a popular thing, but it's really evolving so fast.
man.
Y
I
y
wouldn't like imagine. Wouldn't imagine the video part. I wouldn't imagine. The new. I felt like someone threw me like 10 years ahead to
yeah,
see the future, and like I was amazed because if you go like a year ago when you saw the cutting edge technology of video AI, it wasn't even close to that. It was a very like jerky and it didn't really work so well, and felt there was no like a one actor, consistent actor. It was a lot of frames, and
it was just a lot of
didn't show.
frames. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, and that
so.
was not even that long ago. I mean, I remember the best video that you can find even 1 year ago was this type of style where it's a lot of frames, and then
Mhm,
if you pay attention to the sides, all of the elements in the background are also morphing. And so it's very hard to
mhm,
keep that type of
yeah,
consistency. But it just looked
yeah,
like from that we just jumped so far ahead. Like we just took like an airplane to another
insane.
place, like and now it's this big thing. And I think that really shows something about AI, which is that it really is exponential. It's not,
Truly.
it doesn't expand in the way that we've normally seen things expand,
Mhm,
the way where software how software works and you know teams work and everything. This is exponential. This is like data compounding.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. 1 year these days is like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 that we had like 5 years ago.
yeah.
It's how it feels. So yeah, it's
So
something. Yeah, well,
I was gonna say like being in the space, getting involved like on the inner workings of being a provider in the AI industry. What are you seeing as 5 to 10 years from now? How is this going to change e-commerce?
uh, yeah. I think it is as I mentioned before. It will be text to video, including your own products. You just upload the products, and it will just create all together without, and it's gonna be like I believe um, not something that require a lot of budget, and it's gonna be easy as sending a query to ChatGPT these days. And yeah, it's very promising and exciting and everything, and it comes with a lot of dangers as well that we need to
Yeah,
because it's yeah, all the deep fake, and you wouldn't distinguish if it's real or not, what fakes are. We need to change. We need to change our way of thinking about those things, and how we approach them, and how we trust will be, the number one currency. Like, if it's a trusted source or not, because you can create whatever you want. You don't know if it's real or not. So yeah. um
that's a very good point. Yeah, and another thing I think people are going to value authenticity as a part of the trusting,
mm, yeah.
Um I think there will be so much AI generated that maybe people generated will have more value in a way. Um
Mm,
not in a bad way. It's going to kind of equalize, because there's still going to be that craving. Like I imagine in some years from now, if you see that everything is AI or it could be AI generated, then everywhere you look, it's just it's just like a robot fabricated. type of environment, the internet. It might
Hmm.
be a very different place. It's hard to kind of imagine, how the landscape is going to change, but I think people just get used to that, and it won't even be something that they question very much. Just, oh yeah, everything is AI generated. It's normal. But then having that authenticity is going to be more interesting. Like for example, now when I read a piece of writing on the internet, most of the time I can already tell whether or not
Yeah.
it's a real person and whether or
Right.
not it's AI.
Yeah. The language is it's true. Yeah. It's even though these days there are also there is a niche of ELLMs, like emotional.
Huh.
They're trying to yeah, there is like a great wow, forgot the name of this product. I just stumbled it like a few days ago. Um, and which is yeah, you discuss with an AI, and he actually recognize your whether you are excited, the level of boredom that you have, like a lot of emotions that it actually feels like it understands and responds accordingly. And it was
Wow.
insane. I found myself talking for 2 hours for an AI. It felt it's yeah. So even there, yeah. I mean, personally, how would I would love to know that someone that I'm following is a real person. I would like it better than to know that it's an AI. It's something that it's like we will miss this human interaction, even though it will feel the
Yeah.
same. You just want to know that the other side is a real person. This is something that
Yeah.
it's something that I think people would need and ask for. But in terms of the experience, I actually believe that we wouldn't be able to distinguish even the because you can ask the AI to have some um, human errors and the human even now in with ChatGPT, you can ask for it. Sometimes I feel like it's okay. I know it's AI. Like, please read it in a way that human is actually writing it and do it. And you can have some mistakes and simple words, please, and you will see that it get to the point where it's okay. It actually feels now pretty similar to a human being. So I think we won't be able to at all to understand if it's an AI or not, but we will want to know if it's an AI or not in the other side, and this is something that can be interesting. How to make sure it is like those companies that will um, actually validate it.
Yeah. I think modeling just is very similar. I mean, what they're trying to like what you explained this thing about the emotional part, how they're trying to mimic the emotions of a human, and it just really paints a picture that we are in a way models, right? We're like a storage of
Yeah,
experiences and
where
values.
AIs, advanced
Where
AIs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? So that's what it's coming to. They're trying to copy the same way that
Yeah.
we operate, starting with computers being designed after the way our memory is designed, right? With different compartments and all of this
Hmm.
is designed after the human design, and the AI is no different. We're just building and storing models. So, for example, I imagine emails. If you have an email address that you've been using actively for a number of years, and the system can come in and basically read every
Hmm.
email that you've ever written
Yeah.
and create a model based on the way that you talk and think, and then it can pretty much, I would imagine at that
Yeah.
point, like very accurately respond to your emails for you. I mean, not knowing your intention, of course, but I'm sure that there will be a system where you'll just tell, oh yeah, respond like this, and it'll respond in your voice, essentially.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also social media, you can just see the entire communication of the person, and then you can create like when the person is not here, uh, you know, then you can create some kind of an avatar. Now we're going to a Black Mirror, you know,
That's what it is. That was the point of
Yeah,
Black Mirror, is to illustrate this
yeah,
and where it's coming. Like when I hear about like the social media part, what you just said, I imagine, okay, you can see historically what a person has been talking about and the way that they write. But to create new content requires new ideas, new inputs. So are you basically blending a certain type of characteristic with new information and then making content? So you would select, some channels that you can follow that give you all of your news or your entertainment that you consume, and then synthesize it into new content that you would create, or new slang that you would use, or whatever. Um, I guess there's a
yeah.
there's a workaround for everything, right?
Yeah, I believe that you'll duplicate yourself like 1,000 times, and then for do different tasks, like you just mentioned, someone that will reply to emails as long as it's not involved like a big decision, let's say,
Yeah,
or and yeah, everything would work much faster in that sense. And in a way, it's yeah, it's nice. You can maybe we could be able to focus on the creative process and all those. But in other way, it's gonna be weird for us, the generation that actually had this
the leap.
transition. For the
Yeah,
next generation,
exactly.
it will be like yeah,
Normal.
normal. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
exactly.
we're like the sort of hybrid generation where I remember beepers and floppy disks
Yeah,
and Windows 95, and the new generation, they're
true.
being born straight into AI stuff. So it's kind of
No, it's gonna we're
crazy.
gonna be very different. They're very different human beings,
Yeah,
us and the next generations. Yeah, for sure.
I- I've been looking also into how deeply it's affecting our society, because how social media is basically intertwined with politics and
Hmm.
e-commerce, and AI is so in that. So AI is the root cause of making tremendous changes in the world for that reason. I mean, there's many layers to it, but basically all of our systems, because they're digital systems, are so intertwined, and AI can
Hmm.
basically, on a magnitude that we can't even imagine, make impacts. Creating social accounts. Basically, what you said earlier on is that regulation is going to become more and more important here,
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
basically try to tame this in some degree. And I think that every big company that has some level of responsibility, like Google, is trying to figure out how to deal with this. And it's a tricky thing because it's a wild horse at the moment. It's expanding and growing so rapidly. How do you detect it? You have to make technology that's even smarter, right? It's forcing
Yeah,
a lot of innovation in that way too. So like, Google had a flood of billions of AI generated content pieces being thrown out on the internet and messing up their entire algorithm. And so they're trying to scramble and figure out, like, how do we kick these guys out? What is the new algorithm for authority on our search engine?
yeah.
And then
To need to be involved with. It's less of this company or that company or this country or that country. It should be something that our entire all human being in the world need to unite around it, because otherwise it's yeah, we need to act as if it's like a nuclear weapon, the same way, I would say, even even more maybe.
yeah,
Because you don't know how far it can we still control nuclear weapon in a way, AI, if you give it like his own permission for everything, we are really screwed.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what a
uh,
crazy time to be alive. We had the pandemic. Now right after, a couple years later, we have this AI boom. uh,
yeah,
Crypto markets are starting to pick up again. I mean, all of these
yeah,
things, in my opinion, are just pointing to, we are now a global society, and
true.
it's the transition into that, essentially.
Yeah, but which this actually give me hope. I love this idea.
Yeah, me too.
This is something that you're saying. Okay, maybe this one need to happen so we can all
Be
be
united.
understand that we are like all together here. It's now like there is no, all those separations are stories that we made, but it's really so. Yeah, I actually optimistic about the future, and I'm trying to leverage AI so it will help me to have more time to actually create and not do all this repetitive work,
Yeah,
and make and in the end of the day, free ourselves from that and do things that we really care and love to do. So if
amazing. Yep.
yeah, this is the direction. So yeah,
Thanks, Kadel.
yeah,
I'll leave it on that
yeah.
great last note. Thanks for coming on the show. Anybody who's interested, reach out to Kadel at Sparka.ai. Um, and
Thank you, Pasha.
thanks for hopping on. Catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, thanks,
Bye.
Pasha. Bye bye.
Bye for now.